Good evening, folks. Live from Johnstown, Pennsylvania. It's Saturday night. I'm gonna start real slow here. Let me see if I might have a guest tonight here. Hold on here. Okay, just hold on tight. You had him before. Great guy and all. Present invite. Invite guest. Here we go. Copy that. Hold on. Paste. All right, I can't wait. I can't wait though. But I like to say it's all fun and games, but it's not. We gotta conduct some serious business here, believe it or not. And I'm still surprised though. First off, we have to acknowledge the fact that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. He was killed. And no, it was not a right winger. If I heard correctly, though, this person was a left winger who killed him, young guy. I'm not going to much detail. I'm not going to mention his name because his name does not deserve to be up in lights. Let me see if my friend here got this yet. See if my friend got the invite. Or is anything else? But long story short, though, Charlie Kirk was assassinated. He was given okay, hold on a quick sec. Okay. And bottom line, he was killed in front of his wife, his two daughters, his friends, and Lord knows how many hundreds of thousands of people around him. It's not like he was in a box. He was out in the open. Hold on here. Oh yeah, hold on, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Brother Joe. Welcome aboard, Brother Joe.
My brother Jeff. Got my dog in background too.
Hey, what's up, pup? How you doing?
That's Naja.
Yeah. I see you rocking shirt with Donald Trump and the late great Hulk Hogan.
Yes, sir. Got my Hulkamania head on too. Yep.
Yep. You saw what I got, man.
Awesome. Love it, man. We gotta get as many people out of the movement as we can. Love it.
And of course, we can't forget this in the background. We can't forget this in the background.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about, man.
But like I said, though, when I heard Charlie Kirk got shot, I was shocked. Then I heard later he died. So you gotta be kidding me. I was blown away.
Yeah, I didn't want to believe it at first. The first I seen of it was surprisingly, I was going through Twitter and I seen Elon Musk say something about it. I know Trump and Elon Musk aren't seeing eye to eye for the last couple months or whatever, but I got respect for both of them and what they do. That's one of those things where it's like if you got two parents that are arguing with each other, you just sit it out. You like them both, and you just hope the relationship gets better. I got a lot of respect for both of them.
Same here. I'm just shocked that the only thing this man has, his crime is he has a difference of opinion, different thoughts, you could vehemently disagree on everything that Charlie Kirk. This man will not have any grudge against you. He'd be cool with it.
This is no longer a political battle. This is not a racial battle. This isn't a battle of. It's not a battle of us against other sexualities or anything like that. This is a battle of good versus evil. Flat
Period.
Up. You see the people that are making jokes about his passing and whatnot. It's unbelievable. But it's really strange how the party responsible or that's making the jokes of his passing are the ones that were calling us fascists and Nazis and calling Trump Hitler. But wasn't Hitler ordering his Nazis to kill people who had different opinions than him? So who's the party of Nazis and fascists now? What is our tally mark? Who did we kill for having a different opinion of us? Even Martin Luther King Jr., the late great MLK, was a conservative. Malcolm X was a conservative. He would go around preaching to black folks around the country, tell them the worst thing in this country is a liberal. That is the worst thing in
Thank
this
you.
country. It's a
Thank you.
liberal. Straight from the
Yeah, the
words
funny,
of Malcolm X himself.
I remember that he was saying that he don't trust politicians, but the worst politician is the liberal. Make it sound we're supposed to be our friend, and they're not. I mean,
Yep.
it's the weirdest thing. The liberal Democrats swear up and down they're a party of love, peace, acceptance, and tolerance. But the more they open their mouths, the more they act a certain way, the more they pretty much prove themselves the opposite.
Yeah.
The
Those
opposite.
four things you just listed, that only goes for the people who have the same like mind as them. If you don't have the same like
Thank
mind
you.
as them,
Thank
they will
you.
put you
Thank you.
under all sorts of labels, this and that. You're racist, you're sexist, you're homophobic. Honestly,
That's
I
it.
don't like the word homophobic because the last part of that word phobic means fear. I don't have a fear for them. I just don't agree with what they do. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean I'm scared of them. I'm not like I don't like the word homophobic. It's but then
Well, keep in
again,
mind,
so
they throw those words to try to shut people down. If they don't have like a straight answer to a question, last resort to throw names to shut you down and shame you into submission.
oh yeah. You go back to this past election season back in 2024, and you would go and ask someone who was voting on the other side, so what are some reasons that you're voting for Kamala? What are some of her ideas that you like that she's doing? It all resorted back to Trump. Well, it's not Trump. I just don't want Trump in. Okay, so what is the other side doing that's better than what Trump is doing? We just don't want him in. So you can't give me a straight answer as to
Thank
why you
you.
vote for Kamala over voting for Trump. And the same thing happened in the previous election. We're like, oh, anybody but Trump, anybody but Trump. Boy, did that set this country back.
Big time. The funny thing is that Joe Biden swears up and down that he could build back better. Guess what? We waited 4 years, and I've yet to see anything that's going to be like so earth shattering. He could build back better. People are seeing it to sweep it down, or the economy is the best it has been in 50 years. I'm going like gas prices are still out of control. The economy is not all that great. What planet are you on saying that?
He was building backwards, all right, because
Exactly.
we weren't going anywhere forward with him.
But people don't hear that. But here's the funny thing, though. If they're so confident in Kamala Harris, how can they hold no primary?
Kamala Harris for the vice president position was a DEI hire.
I
When it
believe it.
came down when it came down to the primary voting to see who the primary candidate would be for the Democratic Party in 2020, she had the least amount of votes. Why was she the one that got to become vice president?
Was it?
Was that to cater and pander to a specific race?
Of course. Of course. The
Or
funny thing is,
was
like,
it to pander and cater to women? I
it was
mean,
other like, yeah. In terms of other groups as well. The funniest thing is like, funny to mention Kamala Harris being Biden's VP. Kamala Harris tried to eviscerate Joe Biden and
yeah.
still lost. I think she's one of the first politicians to drop out of the race. I'm thinking like, I was freaked out, confused, like what happened? And then when Biden was installed as president and Kamala Harris made the border czar, and I'm going like, no, it was a joke.
Turn and look the other way and come on through. You know,
No, they just open the gates. You just pretty much open the gates and all that. And surprise, guess what? We saw what happened. They were
mhm,
throwing money and everything else at the illegal migrants like it was nothing. Meanwhile, you got everyday Americans who are still suffering from the economic backlash of COVID and all
yeah,
that, struggling against me to buy food for the kids, buy diapers for the babies. Meanwhile, migrants getting free food, free board, so able to send the kids to where they want. And I'm going
yeah,
like, and people are getting disgusted. I'm like, you serious? But here's the thing: in New York, for example, people complain, and no one saying that to the people in New York who complain like, "Oh, the migrants taking over New York City, taking all the food, taking this." You know what I say to them? You voted for a certain person
Absolutely.
who supports the migrants coming here. Because the funny thing at the beginning, Mayor Eric Adams welcomed them in. Now it
Yeah.
says that oh no more. Then you
And
got
not
Kathy
only
Hochul. Yeah.
they were didn't mean to cut you off, but with you mentioning New York City, I do want to throw out there that when migrants were brought in, they were all stuffed into nice fancy hotels.
Oh
And then
yeah.
they were given Visa debit cards, and every month $500 would be loaded onto those Visa debit cards.
But
But we
not
got
just New York.
veterans that are sleeping on the streets. Why aren't we taking care of our veterans that are having problems
Thank you.
finding places to go?
Hold on, maybe somebody try to get in. Let me see. Oh, that's Russ. He just sent a photo. That's all. Okay, Russ is saying picture. Oh, you heard Dexter, right? The TV show.
Yeah.
He said a photo of Dexter had the killer, the assassin Charlie Kirk, wrapped in plastic, gone by the throat. I'm thinking like, yep.
Yeah.
But my point though, like, it's not just Manhattan. They give these free stuff to migrants. Chicago, same thing. Really with crime and poverty, doing the same thing, and people got fed up with it. Do I really got to go there with California? I think California is, in my opinion, and people may say I'm wrong for saying it. If there's ever going to be a time where a dystopian city or state's going to pop up in the United States, I say California will be the first one to become a dystopian city or state.
It's a shame too, because you know how much I travel around the country. I'm in a new state every day. I've been to 48 states, but from a geographical perspective, California is one of the most beautiful states in the country. It's ran to the ground by its politics. If you were to take the politics out of California and it went back to not being an antichrist state, as I call it the antichrist state. If you take
You're
out
not
the
lying. You're
antichrist
not
in
lying. You're
California,
not
it could be the
lying.
best state in the country. I mean,
I agree.
well, I remember growing up, being a kid, and people would go to California to vacation. No one's talking about vacation in California anymore. No one goes out of their way for family vacations and family trips to California. No one wants to be worried about stepping in human feces and stepping on drug needles when they're trying to take their kids out for a vacation, taking their kids to the beach. No one wants to see grown ass men thinking they're women walking around in dresses and bikinis. No one wants to bring their kids to see that stuff. What you do behind closed doors is none of my business and shouldn't be brought out into the public.
I'll put it like this, Joe. It's kind of weird. They ban Bibles in school. They ban prayers. They don't want nobody reading Bibles to the kids, but for some reason, it's okay for drag queens to read stories to kids. I mean, like, wow, are you kidding me? And as for the transgender, as for the trans men trying to be women, you know what I say to that? You can put on makeup. You could there are some transgender men who look like women genetically, bro. I don't care what anyone says. DNA will never change. Chromosomes never change. As a song I would like to make, you're still man to the bone.
Yeah. And honestly, I know you read the Bible yourself, but Romans chapter 1, I don't know the whole script word for word, but it does go into detail describing how the downfall of every civilization started with homosexuality. And the minute we started normalizing it in our society is when our society really started going downhill, because was it just about letting homosexuals marry each other? Was it just about letting them bake a cake? Was it just about letting them use opposite bathrooms? Is that all what it's all about? Because it seems like every time we give them an inch, they take a mile.
They want space inside a woman's bathroom, and we saw what happened. They swear up and down to people nothing bad would happen, and there's reports of men doing violent things to women and children. In fact, there's a story about how there's one transgender man, one guy who identifies as a woman, wants to go to a woman's prison, end up, okay, there's a man who identifies as a woman, went to a woman's prison, ended up knocking women up like crazy.
No.
What?
Yeah.
Or if not that, it's like all sorts of violence happen to women in general in women's spaces. But the best one is women or the men competing with women. Bro, here's reality. When it comes to men and women in sports, there's no competition. I'm sorry. I give you the best example. Remember the women's soccer team, the world champs? Hey Joe, you remember the women's world champ soccer team with that Megan
Yeah.
person?
The lady
Okay,
with the pink hair, right?
yes. Here's the funny thing. They challenged a bunch of junior high kids to a soccer game. They got smoked. They got smoked by a bunch of teenage boys, grown women who were world champs.
Just see it.
Smoked by kids. When I saw that, I just fell out. I was like, wow, these women were sure they could beat this. No, they didn't. These kids whooped them. Which
Also,
proves
another thing with homosexuality, people will get mad. Well, they do get mad at me when I say this, but I think that is the most useless group of people to society. They contribute nothing. I think in order to be able to contribute to society, you actually have to have some sort of like a nuclear core family, core regenerating. They're not contributing anything to society. They're not doing anything for us. What do they do for us? Nothing. They
well, here's the
contribute nothing.
irony, though. Believe it or not, here's a funny thing though. There are some gay conservatives, believe it or not, who still support Trump. The biggest name in that would be Caitlyn Jenner. To my surprise, I'm like, I'm not gonna, I don't know what to make of that whatsoever. I gotta leave that be and all that, but in terms of like, my problem is not my problem. My thing is that in terms of the gays, if they want to marry each other, cool. Here's the funny thing. You hear something funny though? Even the gays are tired of the liberal Democrats, believe it or not. Because
Yeah.
in terms of trying to make it, go wonder why? Because they have a problem with the liberal Democrats trying to influence kids to pick a gender. And the gay and lesbian community saying, like, that's a no-no. Let the kids be kids. And I'm 100% behind. Like, yeah, let the kids alone. Stop
Hmm.
trying. If
Any,
they say, like, let the kids
any,
pick their gender, and there's a reason why you don't do that. And you remember the Andy Griffith show?
yeah.
Andy Griffith once said, there's a reason why you don't let a kid pick. The kid would pick the biggest, shiniest thing, which is not good for them. It's like let the kid choose what to eat for dinner. If you let a kid choose what to eat for dinner, he's not going to eat healthy. He's going to eat junk food 24/7. You can't
Yeah.
always let a kid make a choice. This is why you have parents and adults. That's why I hear parents let their kids choose their gender. That tell me like these parents are not qualified to be parents. You gonna let your son or daughter to choose your gender? No, you don't do that. If there's any
Yeah.
question about their
Unfortunately, it's people that decide to go out and have one too many drinks one night, came home and made a kid and don't know what the hell to do with it. You know, that's just what that comes down to. And they try forcing the same ideologies that they have onto their kids. And they tell their kids, like, oh, if you don't think this way or that way, no one will love you, this and that. And a kid looks up to their parents, and the parents aren't too smart at the beginning, making mistakes by making the kid. I mean, it might sound cruel. So I don't mean to say the kid's a mistake, but come on. And then another thing that we've been talking about heavily in society is rape, rape and abortions. They think that if someone was raped and they get pregnant, that there should be an abortion done. But show me an ultrasound of a baby who was made by love and a baby who was made by rape. Are you able to tell the difference? Hello? Can you hear me? Oh, shit. Did I lose you?
Okay, sorry about the technical difficulties. Hold on a sec here. Okay, sorry for technical difficulties, folks. We just had a good conversation too. Hold on a sec. Okay, hang on tight, folks. Try to get Joe back. Let's try this one more time. Hold it. Woo! Sorry about that, Joe.
Technical difficulties.
I know. I hate that's like I said, I have like an old hot box and things like this yay big got for Walmart. I'm due to get a brand new one. It's a pain in the neck, and the thing sometimes goes in and out like crazy. But I got some clips I gotta show you though. I'm going like, hold on a second, that's Ross again. He's probably like, what the heck's going on? Yeah, he's showing clips about like Biden falling down. But I'm gonna show you some clips though. Hang on tight. Hold on. I'm gonna show you like some clips you guys see, man.
Sure.
Let me see. Go to the first one, and this should be. Oh yeah, here you go. This is from Kirk's widow.
With every one of my husband's employees who lost a friend and a mentor. I want to thank the staffers of his amazing Charlie Kirk show, who helped him broadcast from this studio, this chair. Every day he loved it. He loved what he did. I want to thank the millions of people who have shown their love for Charlie here in Phoenix, across America, and worldwide. I want to thank my husband's dear friend, Vice President Vance, and his phenomenal wife, Usha, for their love and support. You guys honored my husband so well, bringing him home. You both are tremendous. I want to thank President Trump and his incredible family for the same. Mr. President, my husband loved you. And he knew that you loved him too. He did. Your friendship was amazing. You supported him so well, as did he for you. 2 days ago, my husband, Charlie, went to see the face of his Savior and his God. Charlie always said that when he was gone, he wanted to be remembered for his courage and for his faith. And one of the final conversations that he had on this earth, my husband witnessed for his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Now and for all eternity, he will stand at his Savior's side, wearing the glorious crown of a martyr. Charlie loved life. He loved his life. He loved America. He loved nature, which helped him always bring him closer to God. He loved the Chicago Cubs. And my goodness, did he love the Oregon Ducks. He'd want me to say go Ducks, so I have to since they play on Saturday. So go Ducks. But most of all, Charlie loved his children. And he loved me with all of his heart. And I knew that. Every day I knew that. He made sure I knew that every day. Every day he would ask me, how can I serve you better? How can I be a better husband? How can I be a better father? Every day. every day. Such a good man. He still is a good man. He was the perfect father. He was the perfect husband. Charlie always believed that God's design for marriage and the family was absolutely amazing, and it is. It is, and it was the greatest joy of his life. And over, he would tell all these young people to come and find their future spouse, become wives and husbands and parents. And the reason why is because he wanted you all to experience what he had and still has. He wanted everyone to bring heaven into this earth through love and joy that comes from raising a family. It's beautiful. Charlie always said that if he ever ran for office, I know a lot of you asked if he ever was going to, but privately he told me if he ever did run for office that his top priority would be to revive the American family.
Facts. Here's the funny thing, though. I ran across many people on social media talking trash about Charlie Kirk, complaining, oh, what about George Floyd? What about George Floyd? Here's my take on this one. I might get some heat for this, but here's my thing. When George Floyd died, businesses were burned to the ground. Cities burned. People suffered. Yep. People died. Can I ask you a question? What the people who saw Charlie Kirk die, what they're doing? Do you hear anything about businesses being burnt to the ground? You hear anything about no riots? You hear anything about cities burning? You hear about people suffering? The only thing I heard, because they had like a vigil for Charlie Kirk, some fool in the car trying to push people aside saying, F Charlie Kirk. And when I heard that, I wasn't surprised somebody dragged the guy out the car and beat the brakes off him. I don't condone violence, but I'm not surprised that the guy got a beat down for being that stupid.
Yeah.
But bottom line, overall, I've yet to hear anything about people on the left doing what I haven't heard anything but people on the right. I had yet to hear about a conservative Republican rioting, destroying things. And we didn't hear about it. And you want to know why we didn't hear about it? Because the moment we hear like a bunch of conservative Republicans rioting, causing destruction, CNN, MSNBC, mainstream media will report it like that and run it 24/7. But you know what?
Throw TMZ in that list too, because I'm boycotting TMZ too. After they tried saying they're laughing about a car chase, but there was no car chase going on when they were laughing when the news broke. So
that was messed up. I lost respect for them too. I'm like, come on, guys, really, come on. That's just disrespectful. That's so disrespectful. You know.
As a white person, it's hard for me to talk about the George Floyd situation, because then if you have anything negative to say about it, you get called a racist. But you know what? I got to a point where people can label me whatever the hell they want to label me. Part of my language, but they can label me whatever they want. I really don't care anymore. I'm not here to censor myself to dance around their feelings. This is a time where we, as conservatives, need to rise up and take this muzzle off that they want us to have. We got to start expressing ourselves more. Well, we can't be afraid of consequences. And
yep. Here's the funny thing, though. They think the fact that they took Charlie Kirk off the set, they think like, you know, like that would silence us, that would scare us. You know, there's one woman I saw all giddy and joyful, but Charlie Kirk has been killed. I'm gonna play the video later on. I'm trying very hard not to freak out, but she's all happy, smiling, giddy. It's like, oh, there'll be no reaction. There's no revival. There's no activation. I beg to differ. A lot of people are going to be like, you know, really, a lot of people are going to take up the torch that Charlie Kirk left behind. A lot of people are going to say, you know what? Today, I'm Charlie Kirk. They're going to speak in truth and bravery and, you know, and boldness.
Yeah. People were like, oh, well, George Floyd had kids too. I was like, well, George Floyd didn't really seem to care too much about his kids concerning the actions he was doing in his life. He was a career criminal. When he passed away, he had double the amount of fentanyl in his system that Prince had when Prince passed away. They found that out during the toxicology report, which is a public report. Anyone can go and look it up. He had more fentanyl in his body than what Prince had when Prince died.
Fentanyl is something to joke with.
I don't agree with the tactics that the police used that day, but I'm also not a police officer. I'm not a police officer, and I'm not going to tell a police officer how to do their job, this or that. But when I say you guys, I mean the Democratic Party praise a career criminal, make him out to be a hero. He wasn't a hero. He held a pregnant lady hostage and robbed her at gunpoint. A pregnant lady.
They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about that. Of course, they don't. Just like with illegal migrants committing crimes, you won't hear about it. Yeah. Like I said, Lincoln Riley, they talked about a lot. Say, oh, why you want to talk about a white girl? I was like, well, guess what? There's a black woman who got killed by illegal migrants, and you don't hear about that at all.
Yeah. Well, and then Don Lemon said Charlie Kirk didn't deserve the escort, his body be escorted back on Air Force Two. He didn't deserve the police escorts and stuff that you've been seeing and all that. Well, if you want to use that, George Floyd didn't deserve to have a gold casket. George Floyd didn't deserve to have Barack Obama and LeBron James brought to his funeral. There was Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, they were all there at his funeral. And what did he do to deserve that?
Okay, I gotta tell you what Charlie Kirk did. He formed something called Turning Point USA, energized the youth vote as one of the instrumental people to help Trump win. Everybody make it sound like people say, "Oh, the country became more misogynist." The country didn't become racist. They didn't become misogynist. The people woke up. The people woke up from this Democratic matrix. A lot of black people left that Democrat plantation and all that. A lot of people woke up and say, "No more." When you mess with people's money, mess with their kids, and mess with their lives, they get fed up quick.
They were scared that one day Charlie was going to run for president.
Oh, yeah.
And when he ran for president and he won, they knew it was going to be Trump all over again. So that was a big motive, I think, in everything that happened.
No question about it, though. Like I said, all they did now, they activated. The woman said that you didn't activate anybody. Yes, they have. They activate a lot more people. More people gonna rise up, say, like, you know what? And Charlie have the courage to stand up, because Charlie spoke of 3 things you should never do in a public debate. You brought up gender, politics, and religion. Those are the 3 big no-nos, and he did all 3. This man got stoned. He got stones. He got serious stones to do that. I give him props for that.
And if you disagreed with him and what he was doing, he gave you the platform to come up and tell you why you disagreed with him. And he had a fair debate with him. He didn't put people down. He didn't call them names. He was very respectful with it in the way that he went about doing it. And, they said that the left is always like, oh, can't we just talk things out? Well, you guys killed the one person that was willing to do that.
Here's the funny thing, though. Whoopi Goldberg saying, like, this is wrong. And the fact that Whoopi Goldberg, she's the biggest Charlie Kirk critic, and she's saying, like, that's wrong. We should be able to agree to disagree. She said this. Jimmy Kimmel, same thing. I'm like, wow. Even Bill Maher's going, like, we should stop this. We should not be to a point we should be afraid to speak our truth. We should not be afraid. We should be able to speak our truth loud and proud. Not be afraid the moment we start speaking our truth, someone's going to try to take us out.
Be careful of the blinders, though. Sometimes people only say that on TV to cover CYA. I always say with people,
true. No, I've been there.
Trying to be respectful on your stream, not swear or anything like that. But You got people out here like Whoopi and all that. They'll tell the mainstream media one thing, but we don't know who they are behind closed doors. We know what their true intentions are.
Well, the sad part, you're right. You're right, because the reason why I say it, because like there's a politician, I think it's Gabby Guilford. She got shot, and it's great big talk like, oh, we should tone down the rhetoric. We should tone down the rhetoric. That only lasted for what, a few weeks. Next thing you know, shot back up in an instant.
Yeah.
And that's like a sad thing, though. Like,
that was the lady in Minnesota, right?
Come again?
That was the lady in Minnesota, right?
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
See, I got like another. I got something I'm gonna show as well. That's like the first one show. There's like another one. This is okay. Do you guys see this, bro? Trying to get too triggered. This is the one I was talking about earlier. Check this out.
Well, this is quite the hot take.
The best part of this whole goddamn thing is that he is not martyr material.
Okay, I surely disagree. I'm not saying he's a martyr, but this guy did. Charlie Kirk did ignited. What they did to Charlie Kirk did ignited a generation of people. Say, you know what? We're gonna pick up where Charlie Kirk left off.
We are Charlie.
So his death will.
Go ahead.
All I'm saying is we are Charlie. We got to continue what he died doing.
It's no lie. A lot of people are saying that, but keep listening. Check this out.
Will mean nothing. It will activate no one. It will impact few.
Okay, you see that face, bro? She was so giddy, so happy. That's disturbing. That's bro. That's just evil, bro. How you take joy of a person who just lost their life? How you have joy of, like, especially like this person was someone's father. This person was someone's husband, gone in the most violent way. And she's happy about it? Are you serious?
Charlie Kirk's daughter, she asked her mom, "Where's Daddy at?"
Oh,
and Charlie's wife told their daughter, "He's out working right now with Jesus, trying to afford your blueberries."
Oh boy.
How do you explain that to the kids? Like, you get home from this horrific tragedy that you just seen right in front of you. Just seen your father and your husband get killed right in front of you, because he brought his wife and kids there. They came on his tours and all that. But imagine walking back into that house without him, and everything is set up exactly how he left it, and knowing he's not going to be back in that house ever again.
Facts. I know that's sad, man. That's like so beyond sad. And it drives me crazy. This person make it sound like it's something to be celebrated about. How do you celebrate someone being killed because you don't agree with them? What type of sick minds are they? But unfortunately, such people live like that.
I guarantee you there will be more people at Charlie's funeral than hers.
Oh, guarantee. You're not lying. You're not lying. She'll be remembered as, well, you want to hear something funny, though? And I've been checking out online. A lot of people are getting fired because they're making jokes about Charlie Kirk's death. A lot of people get fired. I forgot the guy's name, but he's like letting people know, do you know this person talk about Charlie Kirk's death and all that stuff? It went, he got about close to a dozen people getting fired, and he's not done yet. And I think it's pretty funny.
I do respect the teams, the New York Yankees, and then my Green Bay Packers on Thursday and Wednesday night. They both, before the games, they held a moment of silence for Charlie.
I'm glad you brought that up. Because first they tried to hold a moment of silence when he got shot, and I think during Congress, during the meetings and all that, when they thought he died, they tried to hold a moment of prayer, and people just lost it. I think, like, seriously, man died, someone hold a prayer, and you have a problem with it. Wow.
Each person that does needs to be brought forward. Their names need to be brought forward, so that way we can remember that during election time.
Thank you. Exactly. Here's the thing, though. I mean, like, I understand you don't agree with the man. I get it. I understand you don't have to agree with the man, but the fact that you're so happy, giddy, and so quick to mock him and his death, that tells me that, one, they're heartless. 2, they're soulless. And their spirit is darker than midnight to make jokes about that. People say, well, but number one, leave George Floyd out because, like, unless you can point to me what did George Floyd did to help this country be better, I want to hear this. At least with Charlie Kirk, he's trying to, bridge gaps and all that, try to make bridges between people and all that stuff.
Those are the same people making jokes about 9/11 too. They're just evil. They're just evil. That's just the way it is. Evil will always be evil.
I'll put it this way though, the devil is working overtime today. Let me finish it real quick while I can watch some stuff. It's great.
Now, if it were me, I have several words that I would use to describe you, your comments, and your obvious lack of intelligence. But I'm going to try to be a little bit more like Charlie and explain this in as reasonable a way as I possibly can muster. See, you think what happened was that a political leader that you didn't like was killed, when in reality what actually happened was the older brother for an entire generation of young conservatives was just murdered right in front of their faces, right in front of his family's faces, and you're sitting here celebrating it. Yeah, you think Charlie Kirk was just somebody that showed up and kicked all of your asses in debates. In reality, he was the sort of guy that showed up and defended tens of thousands of students that felt slandered, maligned, and even threatened by their schools, their peers, their professors, their administrators, right? And Charlie was the guy that showed up for him. So that's who you murdered. Right. And for older conservatives like me, you murdered someone that we saw as the future of the movement. But don't worry, Charlie made future leaders. So we really don't care if you don't see him as a martyr. You're going to learn, probably the hard way, that he absolutely was.
That's crazy, man, because I'm only older than Charlie by a few months.
Right.
We were both born in the same year.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Well,
you know what's crazy too?
What?
If you look at biblical verses and the age of Jesus, when Jesus went through what he went through, he was in his young 30s as well.
Yes, very true. I know. The funny thing is that when the coming of Jesus has been known for hundreds of years before he came by, and the people, like the first Jews, they was very happy to see Jesus. They took you remember Palm Sunday, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they would take the palm reeds, put on the road as Jesus rode the town on a donkey, say, Hosanna, Lord, save us. And they predicted the same people who called for Jesus to save them are going to be the same people who are going to say, crucify him, and that still blows my mind. The people are more afraid of the Roman Empire than God. But the thing is, Jesus gave up his life for all of us. And basically, that's why, unlike the left who talk about vengeance and hate, Jesus is about peace and love. He's the real epitome. He's called the Prince of Peace for a reason.
Yep. Well, the Romans, they felt pretty quickly, too, once they started welcoming homosexuality into what they were doing. And we've seen how fast that Roman Empire fell. Well,
I give you two names, Caligula and Nero. These two Caesars, those two leaders, are like the epitome of evil. These guys really brought Rome down to his knees. I mean, Caligula is bad. I thought Caligula was bad, and Caligula's a very sick human being. Nero is like the devil incarnate. That's how bad Nero is. I'm going, holy moly. That's Nero's bad news, though.
Yeah.
But bottom line, those that I'm laughing because the left makes it sound like they walk on water, they hold the moral higher ground, and they don't. They don't. I'm gonna show one more video to prove how wrong the left is. You gotta check this. When I saw this video, I was laughing, saying they don't like it, but too bad because it's the truth. If I could, yes, check this out. You got a bug. Check this out.
Priest that completely gets it. I agree with him. What do you think?
You cannot be a practicing Catholic and be part of the current Democratic Party knowing that this group is actively working for the killing of the unborn. You cannot be part of a group or an association that's focus is to bring about moral evils. This is why for centuries the Catholic Church has made it very clear that you cannot be a Freemason because there are foundational principles of the Freemasons that are contrary to the Catholic faith. You cannot be part of something which is essential to it, moral evils, because you cannot be part of something and not support what is essential to it, picking and choosing what you want, what you like, and you have a moral obligation not to be part of that. There is a moral obligation here not to be part of them, regardless of whatever other good things you might think the Democratic Party is trying to bring about. Murder is a line you cannot cross.
Hold it.
Well,
Facts, man. That's facts. That's facts right there.
that goes back to what we were talking about before we got disconnected earlier about if you look at the ultrasound pictures of a baby who was conceived by rape and conceived by love, there's no difference in them. Either way, the minute that baby starts having a heartbeat and starts, being able to survive in utero, that baby has human rights. That, women talk about women's rights, this and that, but what about that baby's rights? That baby deserves rights too.
To them, it's a bunch of cells. That's the funny thing. They say it's just a bunch of cells. But here's the funniest thing you gotta hear this though. They said that they would give more credence to life on Mars. They give more credence to a leaf. They give more credence to bacteria. But it won't give credence. It's not so much a fact about life. It's about what say they have over life or death. That's what it sounds like. They want to have credence of what lives, what dies. And here's the funniest punchline there is. Of all places where babies are aborted, what race aborts more babies? And be honest.
Black.
Come again?
Black.
Thank you. You don't want to have this conversation. They don't want to have this conversation. I checked myself several times, and yeah, more black women abort babies. They talk about and you can thank Margaret Sanger for that one. Of Planned Parenthood. Margaret Sanger.
Planned Parenthood has killed more black people than police officers have.
But you won't hear about it. They don't have this conversation. They do not want to have that conversation. They do not. They'd call me like a Uncle Tom, a sellout, and all that stuff. They could all sorts of racial slurs. They would like tear you down, all that stuff, guaranteed. There are people who get canceled just for speaking out.
Yeah. And then they letting white girls use the N-word and this and that. And it's like nothing is more trash to me than a white girl that goes around, especially if she's a white suburban girl, going around a black race, trying to talk like she's from a ghetto, this and that, using the N-word. And I think of it as a mockery. You're mocking the black race when you're talking like that and acting like that.
You know what I say, Joe? If the day ever comes, if somehow they ban the N-word from the hip-hop music industry, I can promise you 90% of the rap groups will fold. I bet you money. If they decide to ban the N-word, say, look, the moment there's one N-word in that song, you're not selling nothing. They'll fold. All the rappers will fold like house called.
There was a rapper, I think it was Kendrick Lamar. Don't quote me. I think it was Kendrick Lamar. But he invited a white girl on stage years ago, and he was letting her sing along to one of his songs that had the N-word in it. And she said the N-word. And then he completely stopped everything and shamed her on stage in front of everyone in that stadium. It was a stadium. He shamed her. It was like, you invited her on stage to sing along to a song that you wrote. What's she supposed to do? Not say it, then you say she's not singing the song right? She was just trying to go along and go with the flow of everything and singing a song that you wrote. What'd she do wrong? If you didn't want her to say that word, then don't put that word in the song.
Well, here's the thing. black culture, like as it stands right now, not like I said, like the music talks about self-destruction, drugs, violence, denigrating of women. And I'll give you 3 different types of women that make me give me another reason why I keep avoiding this for hip hop. Sexy Red, Sukiana, Glorilla. Some of the lyrics are going like, that's straight porn. You serious? You remember the song Baby It's Cold Out Tonight? That classic song, Baby It's Cold Outside?
Yeah.
They
Oh,
banned it.
Yeah, they tried to ban it.
They banned it. Meanwhile, they got side effect from Sexy Red or Glorilla say like Wet Kitty. I'm not gonna say the full word. Say Wet Kitty, and I'm going like, so let me get this straight. You have this song bad, but you have this one word that sounds like a script from porn, and it won awards and it's played on black radio stations like crazy. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Cardi B used to be a stripper, and when she was a stripper, she would drug men's drinks, and then when they were drugged up, she would rob them.
Oh yeah, she talked about that.
Yep. She was a female version of Bill Cosby. Why isn't she locked up?
Why isn't a woman?
Yep.
Because she's a woman. I'm sorry, because she's a woman, bro. She's a woman. I'm sorry.
You're
it's
wrong.
Like number one, it's like Me Too movement and all that. Believe all women. And here's my biggest fear: women are weaponizing some of these things. They are weaponizing some of them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Same with the mental health card. I think that's starting to get weaponized too. Now, I'm not talking about people that are proven mentally ill, this and that. But whenever something crazy happens in society, they try saying it's a mental illness that happened or mental illness why they did it. Mental illness doesn't give everyone a pass. Just like when that guy said that lady on the bus or the train or whatever, they're trying saying that was a mental illness thing. That wasn't mental illness. That was just evil. You don't get that as a pass as to why you did what you did. He knew what he was doing. We lose you again, Jeff. Oh man, Jeff's gone. This is my stream now. I'm just kidding. Jeff said, hold on. He'll be back. I think. Yeah, he said, hold on. I don't know if he still got his channel or if I'm on his.
Woo, still there, Joe?
I'm here.
Woo, okay. I'm here. I might have wrapped up because it's starting to count out like crazy. But long story short, though, I got, like I said, going back to Charlie Kirk really briefly, if I can wrap this other stuff here. Like Charlie Kirk, he's gone, but he will never be forgotten. And though in death, a new generation of Charlie Clerks are going to rise up and speak and going like, they're going to carry on where he left off. Simple as that. And there's nothing to do about it.
We are Charlie.
There'll be a lot of Charlies, period, whether anybody likes it or not, though. They can say what they want, but guess what? They're not going to stop that. One lady said, like, oh, you're going to affect nobody, you're going to activate. Oh, yes, you have. Just the fact she said that is to make people go wake up and say, like, like, this was going to happen. And I'm going to laugh. Now, in terms of women, how they view men, now I'm talking about modern women. I'm not going to say every single female is bad, but a lot of modern women got this attitude towards men, they like, they don't need men ain't worth crap. They say that now in their early 20s, all beautiful and all that, but once they hit their 30s and their 40s, they hit that wall, and all of a sudden they gotta look for the dependable average guy. Because right now, these young women are going for the top tier guys. Now, here's the problem though. A lot of these women who go for these guys, they're average. They are women who are beautiful, but they're average.
Well, no guy is going to want someone that's got 9 baby daddies or whatever, an OnlyFans account, has sold pictures of themselves on the internet. No man wants a woman that every other man has already seen.
Thank you. Here's a funny thing. I'm not sure you heard this one dude, his name is Ugly Money. This woman tried to tell Ugly Money this woman had 300 dudes and her kitty is tight. And I'm going like, number one, how do you know? Number two, what make you think a dude wants a woman that had 300 dudes with her? The other one that's tore it down. It's like, here's the thing. I'll give you the best example, bro. Okay, like you see this bottle right here? Now, so far, I could pass it to you. I could pass it to 300 people. At the end of the day, I could be like this. I can still drink it. But take it, pass it to you, take a drink. 300 people drink it. Will I drink it after 300 person? No.
And just like women, if people drink from the bottle, there ain't going to be none left. If people drink from that woman, there ain't going to be none left of her too.
Thank you. I'm glad you said that. I used the analogy with I had like key lime pie. I shot the whole pie slice and like all this represents a woman. For every guy she gets with, she gives him a slice. A slice after slice. After a while, you'll have much of anything though. What are you gonna offer to a man?
Yeah.
Yeah. All thing he leaves behind is trauma, problems, and the inability to satisfy her in bed. She tried to make it sound like, well, you're number 301, you should be privileged. No, I should be running the other direction.
When a man gets with someone and a woman and they want to work towards marriage and have a kid, when you're having a kid, you're building your legacy and carrying your generation on. Exactly. How many generations does this one woman got to have? How many legacies does this woman got to pop out when she's got 6, 7 other different generations coming out of her?
They don't want to have that discussion. They don't want to have the discussion whatsoever.
One woman is going to carry those 6 different generations and legacies on. That's why people are acting a fool nowadays. These younger generations are acting a fool because they ain't got no father figure at home.
Thank you. I'm glad you said that too, because there are women, single mothers, who make it sound like they could raise their sons to be men. No, you can't. Unless you have a cousin, uncle, grandfather, any strong, positive male role model to help raise your son. You can't have a woman try to raise a son to be a man. It will not work. And then you put your son on the world, he's going to be screwed. It's going to be bad.
That's why men are turning out to be gay now. That's why a lot of men don't have the proper guidance and the self-discipline. There's no one disciplining them.
Exactly. Here's a funny thing, though. More and more men walk away from the dating world. This is 3 things that's happening right now, Joe. One, a lot of men say, you know what? I don't want to date a woman. I'm going to be about my work, friends, family, God. That's it.
That's it. That's me.
That's 1. 2, they had to work extra hard to find that traditional woman. You mean I got to work 10 times harder to hopefully find a woman who's like equivalent to my grandmother and my great-grandmother and be a good quality woman? That's sad. Yeah. I check what are the chances you find a virgin bride, bro? You know what the odds of finding a virgin bride? 5%.
Oh, yeah. Well, I use this analogy. When you take over someone as a stepdad, it almost feels like you're taking over someone's game profile on 2K. You're taking over their save data. That's not your save data. You're just taking over someone else's. That's all that is.
I'm this way though. I'm not gonna look down on the guy who chose to be a stepdad. If they choose to do that and do a good job, that's great. The relationship between him and the woman and the kids are great. God bless, because that's what I have with my future fiance. Another thing too, I'll bring up too. A third option for the men have, they go to other countries where women are way more traditional. Absolutely. And the women here hate it.
Yep. Absolutely. Foreign women are way better than what we got to have over here. Westernized women, it doesn't matter what their race is. It's just, it's not getting no more. It don't matter white, black, Hispanic, Chinese, Asian, whatever. That once they become westernized in our civilization, it's just, they're not loyal. They don't, like they say themselves, they don't cook, they don't clean. They say it themselves.
And they say it themselves. That's the funny thing. They say if one guy wants to have a conversation with this woman, He said, like, and the woman says, well, if you want someone who cooks or clean, hire a maid. You know what the dude says? Cool, I'll marry the maid.
Yep. You can choose the bear.
Fake. I'm glad you brought that up. Women, I'm glad the women say, like, they pick the bear. You're going to pick a carnivore that can kill it. Can a bear make a fire? Can a bear give you food, shelter? Nope. The bear will make a good snack of you, make it to a chew toy. Why he would pick the bear? I just died laughing and said, like, yeah, that's very smart. But like I said, but here's the thing. This is what I'm doing right now on my YouTube page now. Women can pick the bear. This is what I want men to do. I want men to pick peace over drama.
Yep. Absolutely.
Facts. I mean, like, because like right now, like that's way more important than food, money, sex. Any man can call home from work. You can like come home, watch TV whenever you want, read a book whenever you want. If you want to have a beer or have a beer with his boys, he can do that whenever he wants. Play video games whenever he wants, without like having to check it to a woman, a female getting all like crazy. If, like say if you play a video game, they get crazy. I've seen videos of women destroying their man's video console.
Yeah. I look at it like this. If she's willing to do all that stuff to your belongings, people are, oh, it's just a material item. No, it's actually a sign of respect. If she doesn't respect your items, and she doesn't respect you. And if she doesn't respect you, then what the hell are you doing with her? Part of my language.
Here's the thing, though. As much as we want love for women, respect is more important.
Yeah.
Because if she don't respect you to your face, woman can think she can respect you behind your back.
Absolutely. When your partner goes out in public without you, she's a representation of you.
Facts. That's very true. Facts. That's why I find funny women get all mad, because if you have friends who are promiscuous and they want to dress promiscuous and act like you're single, you should be going like, no, either change your clothes or you're staying home. But then again, if you're with a woman, if you know she has friends who are like bitterly single, promiscuous, and go to these clothes that's very questionable, you better consider your status with that female before you consider having a long-term relationship.
You got to think, if she cheated on someone to get with you, makes you think she ain't going to cheat on you to get with someone else.
Exactly. Oh, bro, I enjoyed this, but bro, I gotta get ready to get going because I gotta get ready to get tomorrow. But bro, I wasn't gonna do more and all that stuff. But bro, you gonna be around next week?
I'm available every week.
Cool. I should make it my co-host, man. This is so cool, man. I'll try to bring Ross in this too. I'll try to bring Ross in this as well if I can. But bro, man, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Okay, have a good night, bro.
Good night. God bless you.
God bless you, bro. Take care. And as for everybody else, like I said, once again, Joe, thank you, my brother, from no other. Thank you, my brother, like no other. Thank you so much to my brother Joe. I want to thank everybody else who watched this, though. This is like a very special, like to Charlie Kirk. No human being, black, white, whatever, should not have to lose their lives because they have a different opinion. Like I said, you don't have to agree with Charlie Kirk. You don't even have to like Charlie Kirk, but the fact that someone lost a life, and then make a joke of it, that's not right. There's something wrong with making jokes, talking ill of the dead. That's not right at all. But they felt that this is going to stop Charlie Kirk's dream. No. It is ignited and start a fire they can't put out. And it's not like Charlie Kirk's just for white people. He's for everyone. And I do mean everyone. I got pop-up videos of how he interviewed with other people, other like sexes and races. That's gonna be coming out soon. But as for me, I gotta get going, folks. But I'm gonna give thanks for everybody who popped up and watched and all that. Thank you once again, Joe. Thank you very much. And my best friend Russ. I want you on here too, bro. One may be up here too. I got a few other people I try to come up as well. Until then, folks, I gotta get going. Peace and love. And before I go, peace over drama.